Capture the flag. How Britain turned bunting into a political battlefield. Picture this. You wake up on a crisp Saturday morning in Tower Hamlets, coffee in hand, and step outside to find your street transformed. Overnight, it's been decked out in a riot of red and white, St. George's cross flags fluttering from every available surface. It looks less like a quiet East London neighborhood and more like the set of a low-budget Braveheart remake. But by Monday, poof, every single flag has vanished, snatched away by council workers moving with the efficiency of MI5 on a biscuit raid. Welcome to the latest episode of Britain, the Unintentional Comedy, where the humble act of hanging a flag somehow spirals into a bureaucratic brawl and a national debate. It sounds absurd, but this is no fever dream. Over the past week, councils in Tower Hamlets and Birmingham have been locked in a bizarre tug-of-war with residents and spontaneous patriots. The operation to hang, and then hastily remove, scores of St. George's flags was so dramatic it earned its own nickname, Operation Razor Colors. Is it a military campaign or a particularly aggressive flash mob? Who can tell? All we know is that by sunrise, the flags have been stripped away, leaving behind a nation scratching its head and reaching for the nearest megaphone. Or, more likely, their Facebook logins. The official explanation? Health and safety. Yes, you read that right. Apparently, nothing threatens public order quite like a polyester flag waving from a lamppost. If you're wondering when exactly bunting became a biohazard, you're not alone. But this flag flap wasn't confined to the rooftops. It spilled over onto the roads, where some enterprising citizens took it upon themselves to give Birmingham's roundabouts a patriotic makeover. Overnight, the city's traffic circles were emblazoned with St. George's crosses, turning the morning commute into an accidental game of spot the protest. Was it art? Was it vandalism? Was it both? Residents of Kings Heath and Yardley Wood suddenly found themselves navigating what looked like the world's most passive-aggressive art project, half protest, half traffic hazard, all fully bonkers. If you've ever tried to explain British politics to someone, just show them a photo of a council worker scrubbing paint off a roundabout. It says more than any manifesto ever could. At this point, you might expect the government to step in with clarity and leadership. Instead, cue the political equivalent of a three-legged sack race. Keir Starmer's team scrambled to issue statements affirming their commitment to patriotism, listing everything from football wins to Downing Street's own flag displays. Yet, even as Labour spokespeople championed flag flying on the airwaves, Labour-led councils were yanking those very flags down. It's the kind of mixed messaging that would make your head spin if you weren't already dizzy from watching the roundabout artists at work. Imagine declaring your undying love for fish and chips while simultaneously banning every chip shop in country. That's a vibe in Westminster right now. Amid all this, what do actual residents have to say? For most, the drama is as baffling as it is unnecessary. One local described the flags as nice and colorful, the most British way possible of telling politicians to get a grip. Others, however, saw deeper meaning, connecting the flag to asylum protests and suggesting their removal was a right move. And there's a heart of the matter. When does patriotism stop being a harmless celebration and start tipping into something more pointed? It's a debate that makes politicians squirm, because the answer isn't neat or easy. For some, flags are a symbol of pride. For others, they can feel exclusionary or even provocative, especially in turbulent political times. The council's responses have been masterpieces of bureaucratic doublespeak. Birmingham City Council managed to simultaneously profess pride in the English flag while explaining in great detail why it absolutely had to come down. The result? A kind of scroting of patriotism. You're encouraged to love your country, but only if you do so in the privacy of your own home and definitely not from public infrastructure. Their bottom line? Feel free to fly the flag. Just not on our property, and please fill out Form 27B beforehand. It's patriotism, but only in council-approved, risk-assessed doses. So here we are, Britain 2025, a country where bunting requires a permit, political statements are painted on roundabouts, and the national conversation can turn on a sixpence from health and safety to the meaning of belonging. Is it a storm in a teacup? Probably. Is it a uniquely British kind of farce? Absolutely. As we await the next chapter, perhaps a crackdown on rogue rose gardens or a hotline for reporting excessive patriotism, one thing certain, the debate over who gets to wave the flag and how isn't going away anytime soon. What do you think? Are councils being killjoys, or is there more to this flag flap than meets the eye? Drop your thought below. And if you spot any guerrilla roundabout art in your area, you know what to do. Send in the photos, and get ready for the next round of this fully British game of Capture the Flag. Stay tuned, because if British politics has taught us anything, it's that the next big drama is always just around the roundabout.